Welcome to a Sleepover with Yuri. If you've ever been categorized as a minority, whether for being an immigrant or LGBTQ or a person of color, well, guess what? You are in the majority on my show. And tonight, I should have probably put a diapers on because I'm expecting to laugh a lot, as my next guest is the funniest little Stevie.
I hope I'm funny enough to keep you going tonight.
Nobody's ever funny enough for me, but you know.
We have a lot of fun laughing.
We do. That's why you're here, because, you know, there's nothing better than a good laugh. Laugh extends a life expectancy, whatever it is.
Laughter's the best medicine.
Okay, don't be a smartass. Listen, thank you for coming over. I love your pajamas. What is that? What are you wearing?
Just a t-shirt and shorts, that's all I'm wearing. I would not normally wear this much for sleeping, but...
What do you normally wear?
Nothing.
Okay. You know what, every time, and I've said this before, every time I have a guest over, they all say they don't wear nothing, but they come here, and I guess the heater's on or off, whatever, and they put this clothes on, which is fine. Keep it on so we can talk and be real.
It says something about you that all of your guests are the kind of people that are wearing nothing normally.
You know, I'm very selective with my friends. You know, my friends, yeah, that's the way I am. Well, listen, but anyways, there's something I want to tell you. So when I was younger, there were 3 things that I wanted to have, and I thought it was going to be like supernatural, you know, power. I wanted to have an identical twin brother. I wanted to speak a foreign language, and I wanted to be bisexual. Because I thought those 3 things will make me feel or be special, which I only learned the language, nothing else. And you're here today with me, and I want to talk about you, and I know that you're a bisexual.
Yeah, I didn't know I was bisexual all along. I was married to a woman. I have 2 kids, as you know, and we've since got divorced. My kids are grown. I was always attracted to people of both sexes, but I didn't realize it was a sexual attraction. I just found people were attractive. And I found once I came out, I thought I was coming out as gay, and then I realized, well, I'm not really gay. I'm attracted to everybody or anybody. So
anything that moves is good for me.
You know, yeah, I'm happy. I'm attracted to everybody, or I should say, I'm attracted to nobody these days.
But listen, so when you say I'm attracted to everybody, and we're talking about human race, I'm assuming.
Every human body,
Every
yes.
human body, like women and men. Is there, because men and women are different.
What?
You know, I mean, if we talk about women, it's more feminine side, even though we do have tomboys. We talk about men, it's masculine side, even though we do have femme guys. So when it comes to your attraction, would you say you're attracted to feminine female women or masculine men, or
yeah,
how does it work?
It's actually something else. For me, I've always been attracted to the person. It's not the body. I mean, the body helps, but it's usually, or it hurts, depends. It's usually the personality. I mean, I've dated people, and only when I get to know them and really like who they are, that's when I find myself getting physically attracted. I can almost count on my hand the number of times that I've seen people just by seeing them that I was physically attracted. I can say, oh, that's an attractive person, but it didn't mean I wanted to be with them. But when I get to know somebody, then I kind of fall for them. And that could be a man or a woman. That can go either way.
That's really interesting, because that's something that I kind of knew, because I've had bisexual friends, obviously.
How close?
Close enough. We've had sleepovers before, but so let me just, if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. So you have sexual attraction to people only after you get to know them. You like their personality.
Yes, generally, I'd say 90% of the time that's what happens.
So
generally,
if you don't know them well enough, you don't know their personality, and if you see a person, you can tell, oh, he's beautiful, she's beautiful.
Exactly.
But you don't necessarily want to have.
Exactly, and that's why I didn't have an answer to the feminine or masculine thing. It wasn't about that.
But what kind of, okay, to me, that's really interesting. I like to hear that. I mean, it sounds, you know, above human, you know, animal physical attraction, because it's something that makes us different from animals. Mm-hmm. Per se, animals would probably have sex with other animals, not because of their personality. Mm-hmm. So to me, what I always thought of bisexuals, and that's my crazy thinking, that's like a level above. because you really are attracted to a person because of their personality and charisma, something animals lack. So, but I never really thought it was true. So I'm trying to get, to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
So what kind of personality attracts you?
Oh my God! If I could do this, I would have a good profile on Grindr and Tinder. It's got to be somebody really smart. I like people that are smart. I like people that are funny. I like people that are considerate, that are giving, that want to take care of me. Oh no, wait, I'm going way off. Yeah, I don't know that I can put a finger on exactly what it is that I like. I know these are traits that I just said that everybody would like. There's something special about that. But there's got to be some spark, and also I'm going to correct myself. I think it's really the intelligence. It's really got to be smart. I think smart often leads to funny. It's the smart that I think I'm really looking for.
Again,
I'm rich.
Well, that's for everybody. But listen, again, I like what I'm hearing because and I'm not like a scientist or sex specialist, whatever they're called.
Oh, I'm a sex specialist.
Yeah, but when I talk to, gay people or heterosexual people, women, and I ask them what kind of personality you're attracted to, what kind of guys or girls you're attracted to, and a lot of times I hear, oh, I want my guy to be, super brutal, and I like jerks, or I like dominant, or again, it's all about physical, behavioral kind of characteristics. But with bisexuals, and you're as an example, and you're not the first person who's telling me this, it's more on an intellectual intelligence level, charisma and being smart, and that's, to me, is fascinating. Right.
You find someone that you're interested in, and then you figure out a way to have sex with them. It's not, it's not an issue, right? I'll tell you something really quick. There were two big loves in my life. My ex-wife. And when I met her, and this upset her when I would say it, and I understand it, but when I met her, she wasn't my type. She wasn't the look I would look for. But I did find over time, even after we broke up, that I was interested then in women that looked like her. Not because I was going after the look, but I think somewhere I connected that personality with that. Then when I started dating my ex-boyfriend, again, I would never have said that he was the type of look I was looking for. He's very tall, for example, but now I find myself attracted to very tall guys because I'm connecting back to his personality. And if I meet somebody who's short and I like them, it'll just all change again.
You know what's really funny, and this is, again, not to sound super sex expertise, whatever, but with heterosexual people, and I hate that I'm generalizing, and it's based just on my personal observations, with heterosexual people or gay people, I feel like we are attracted to physical characteristics. Oh, he's tall, or she's skinny, or, I like, white guys or black girls, but doesn't matter, like race or, whatever your attraction is, it's preference based on physiology. And then we get to know them better, and that's when we either stay together or we separate because you get to know their personality.
Right.
And with bisexuals, it's the opposite. I feel like you guys are attracted to charisma, intellect, humor, and then you actually start realizing that, oh, I'm actually attracted to, oh, he's tall and I like that, or she's whatever your wife look like, I'm attracted to that. To me, that's just so interesting, and I feel like we don't talk enough about that, in bisexual world.
It's interesting for me to hear you say this, kind of a little bit of a tangent. I don't think I know anyone else who's bisexual or who calls themselves bisexual. I think I'm the only person I know of, kind of running through the Rolodex in my head. You know what a Rolodex is? You probably don't. But I don't think I know anyone else who calls themselves bisexual. As a matter of fact, all of my gay friends kind of playfully and lovingly tease me when I say I'm bisexual. They say, no, you're not, you're gay. And for that matter, all of my straight friends, when I tell them I'm bisexual, they kind of say, no, you're not, you're gay. So everyone's convinced that I'm gay. So it's interesting. I don't really know any other bisexuals that I would even have that kind of conversation with.
Well, that's why you are in a minority. You're a minority. You're my show. But listen, I have a couple of friends who are bisexual, and I've talked to them before, and they said the same thing. They're attracted to personality. It doesn't matter age, or gender, or race. Don't matter. And to me, that is futuresque. But then again, and like I said, I wish I was like that. I wish I was attracted to personality instead of other, characteristics. So for me, being bisexual, that's always something that fascinated me, and I was like, oh, I wish I was like that. And I agree with you. I feel like people underestimate bisexuality, and in the gay world, people feel like, oh, you're bisexual, just don't want to come out as you're
Right,
gay.
exactly.
And if you're straight, you're straight, you just pervy, you just like to, play around with everybody.
Right.
So, but to me, like I said, and what you just proved to me, bisexuality is different. It's like a different level of connection to another person.
Can I tell you something? It was really nice. I felt really good just now because I never thought about it much before, but I just thought it was my own weirdness that I wasn't attracted to a body necessarily, but to a personality. And to hear you say there are other people that kind of think the same way makes me feel really good.
Oh, yeah, my friend, I'm not going to say her name. She was a good friend of mine. When I met her back in the day, she always dated girls. And now she's married to an older man. She's happily married. I never seen her with a guy before, but she's attracted to personality as well. So speaking, in my show, I invite minorities and we talk about their struggles and stuff. What struggles do bisexual people have? Like, do you have any? Because for me, it's like you're flexible. You can go with whoever. Is that a struggle?
I honestly, and I was thinking about this before I came tonight, I don't really have an example of that. I don't feel like, other than what we talked about, which is people don't acknowledge that bisexuality really is a thing. I've not really suffered for that, and I've told you this before. I'm going to switch the topic right now. For me, I found that in the gay world, and I prefer to live in the gay world. I think it's much more fun than the straight world. But I find that being older or being heavier makes people not even see me, and I feel like that's a bigger minority status that I suffer from than the bisexuality. I can be hanging out with you at a party, and maybe 3 or 4 guys come over, and they'll say, "Hey, Yuri," and they'll introduce each of the people, and not even talk to me.
Did that happen to you before?
It's happened to me, yeah. And I'm, my personality, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Steve," and kind of get into it, and they're all polite and fine. They don't realize they're doing it, and I think it's more of the ageism thing than it is the weight thing, but it's probably both. It's probably both.
It's just something interesting just came through my mind. If that room was filled with bisexual people, would you think that then they would not discriminate you for age and your weight? Because what you're saying is that, again, we come to heterosexual world and gay world, and with us, and I hate to generalize, but we look at the physical appearance.
Yeah.
And if I'm not attracted to someone who's older or heavier, I probably will ignore. Even though you might be the best, you might have the best personality, best human being in the
Right.
world, and I could have, fallen in love with you, but I wouldn't give it that chance because that's not what I'm attracted to physically as a heterosexual gay person.
Yeah.
So if that was a room filled with bisexual people, you guys would all actually connect on a deeper level. Is that the case?
I suppose so, based on this conversation. I didn't mean to say, let me just say, that it was just a gay thing. I think it's the same thing on the straight side. I think there's a general dismissal of people that are overweight, but even more so for people that are older. And I understand what you're saying, too, because, who you're attracted to and what does our culture tell you to be attracted to. But I don't know. I mean, a room full of bisexual people, it's kind of hard to picture.
So if that was, let's say,
I wouldn't date a bisexual.
it's just funny, it's like, because don't get me wrong, like, not to sound crazy, but this is a revelation night for me as well. So if I had to categorize people sexually into 3 groups, I would put gays as a low group because gays just look at, you as physically, like muscle, whatever it is, physical attraction. Then heterosexuals also look for, what I'm attracted to, but I'll talk to you because sex is not the most important. I, want to know you as a person. And then bisexual would be on the highest level because bisexual, speaking of moral values, I guess, and, so bisexuals are looking to get to know you as a person before going down the hill, in bed. Is that, would you say that's true?
I actually don't agree with that. I think if we're going to generalize, and we're saying that generalizations, I think everybody's piggy. I think everybody, and seriously, I mean, in the heterosexual world, I know tons of guys that are just want to get laid. That's all they care about. And then if they happen to like the girl, maybe they'll have a relationship. I even know a lot of women that are like that too. They're looking for a hot guy, and that's it. I think it's the same thing both in the straight and the gay world on that. Yes, I'll say that us bisexuals, we are at a higher level, but I'm joking. But to your point, if that is a higher moral value, I guess that is how we're
But if what you're saying is truth, to me that is so divine that people actually really can look into your personality before anything. If that's what you're saying is authentic and genuine, so I say I want to make a suggestion. There should be dating I don't know, apps or speed dating groups for bisexual people only because you guys connect on different level, and for you, it really doesn't matter if it's younger or older. Because like I said, my friend, a young girl, younger than me, who's been dating girls her whole life, got married to an older man because she said he has the best personality, she's in love.
Right, right.
So would you say that maybe you need to be looking for love or a partner in a bisexual world?
So I think that makes a lot of sense, except that the more I listen to us and I'm thinking about it, if there was a group of bisexuals that we can talk to, they would probably turn around and say, what are you talking about? Of course, we also have the animalistic attraction to people, just as it could be male or female.
Do they?
I don't know.
Do you know any other bisexual people who...
I'm the only one I know.
See, that's the thing, because all the bisexual people, that's why I wanted to come, you to come over and have a sleepover with me, because I really want to talk about that. Because bisexuality, together with speaking foreign languages and having an identical twin brother, has always been fascinating to me. I always looked at it as a supernatural skill. It's like you really are attracted to a personality, and personality for me is the beauty of a human being. That's the most valuable part.
Right.
And that doesn't age, and that doesn't gain weight. Personality stays the same or even doesn't really change.
I can tell you personality gets better with age.
Or even that.
Just mine. And weight. I mean, the heavier I get, the better my personality is.
A fat friend is the best friend.
A fat friend is always jolly.
So let me ask you something. And I had this question for you. I didn't want to ask you before. It's a surprise question. So last year...
No, I won't marry you.
All right, that's because I'm not considerate. So last year I met someone who is a writer and who studied bisexuality and who was going to publish the book about bisexuality like no one ever has. And he questioned 100 bisexual people about something that I want to ask you now. When you please yourself with when you masturbate.
Yes.
I hope I can say that. When you masturbate.
You just did.
And you have an orgasm by yourself alone.
You're asking me what I'm fantasizing about?
No. I'm asking what do you see when you have an orgasm, when you're masturbating by yourself? Do you picture a woman or a man or someone, if you're single, or it's nature or something beautiful?
So this is not an answer from a bisexual. This is an answer from Steve.
Little
Nothing.
Stevie.
Little Stevie.
Little Stevie.
Well, if I'm masturbating, it's not little Stevie, it's big Stevie. I'm thinking about, I'm not thinking about anything. At that moment, I might be fantasizing beforehand, leading up to it, and it could be a man or it could be a woman. It's probably these days more likely a man. Because like I said, I like to connect to the gay community. That's where I enjoy it better. But at that moment, I'm not thinking about anyone else. I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking how good this feels. Yeah, it's a very internal, very sensual, very not selfish, but self-oriented moment. That moment, yeah. I'm not picturing anything. I'm not seeing fireworks. I'm not seeing nature. I'm not seeing. Most likely, I'm not seeing another person. Maybe, but really not. That's not my orientation.
That is so
Maybe that's why I'm all alone, because I'm not thinking of anybody else.
Yourself. You got yourself.
We have a great time.
Oh my God! But that's another interesting question for you. So if you've been in love before, so if you're in love with a personality, do you look like? Is it possible for you even to cheat on your wife or your spouse because you're not really attracted physically to others?
No, but you're that same thing can happen. In other words, you're attracted to the. I remember talking to my boyfriend at some point about having an open relationship, and we kind of said, we did all kinds of things, but what we kind of said was, I said, I don't really care if you have a physical thing with somebody else. I don't want you getting into an emotional connection with them. And a lot of people say this is not unique to bisexual. By the way, he would say that I was gay. He would not admit that I was bisexual. So the thing is that somebody, I think you can still cheat emotionally, maybe even easier and it's worse if you kind of start falling for somebody else that's not your partner, even if you don't do anything physical.
No, I agree, because I know a lot of couples, heterosexual and gay couples, who've been together for so many years and they've been in a monogamous relationship, but you just can't have sex with the same person. So for them, they still love each other and they sleep together. They don't have sex for years, but they have sex with other people just because physically they can't really have sex with themselves anymore. So that, I mean, that's for another sleepover probably. But with you, let me ask you this. So being the bisexual people, or being that you are attracted to a personality, would that make you, so how does it work for you? Because for me, if I'm horny, you know, and I know my type, and I look and I see my type, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to have sex with this person because that's my type. So when you're horny, like, what do? Do you go read a book, or like, what do you? How do you?
No, I mean, you still find there are people you find attractive. I didn't mean to make it so black and white that there's no physical attraction. There is a physical attraction, but I won't fall for somebody until I really know their personality. And sometimes, and often, I'm not really physically. How do I put this? I'm not horny for that person until I get to know them. So
do you get horny about people you don't know? Like, do you ever ride the train and you see some guy or some girl and you're like, oh my God, that's like, oh my God, I want to go to bed with this person. Does that ever happen to you?
A little bit, but it's more like, well, that person looks interesting, and I
want to talk to that person. I
It's
want to see what they think about global warming.
No, it's not global warming, but it's kind of like that. I like the way that person looks. I'd like to get to know them, as opposed to I like the way that person looks. I'd like to, can I say it? Sleep with them. I'll say.
So you don't get horny. You don't want to sleep with a person
sometimes,
just looking at them.
But 9 out of 10 times, no. And you know, occasionally, once in a blue moon, it happens that way.
Because for me, like I said, it's like I'm attracted to behavior also. If you behave a certain way, I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, I want to, you know, I want to go home with you. But with you, it's like when you say a person is like, oh, I wonder that person has to say about global warming.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's what is that person like? And the person is not, their opinions are not what they're like. Mm-hmm. The way that they think is what they're like, and the way that they act.
The way they think, the way they act. Yeah. Interesting. See, for me, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I wish that was the case about me. Like, I wish I was that much attracted person, which personally means a lot to me, don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, I judge the book by the cover, and I see the cover first, and that's like, you know, forms my attraction. Then when you get to know a person, yeah, there are like a lot of people that you don't want to really see again or talk with again. But that's a little bit different still.
So the way we're talking about it, to explain it and talking about it, it's coming off very black and white. It's a lot more subtle, a lot more shades in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I will see someone and I'll think, gee, they're kind of attractive, or I'll meet somebody very casually. There is someone I met today, just by the way, and I was hanging out. There was something happened, and we chatted for a second or two, maybe, I mean, literally like a smart-ass comment back and forth for a minute or two, and we walked away, and I thought to myself, oh, she was kind of hot. I kind of wonder what she'd be like. Again, that didn't mean I wanted to sleep with her right away, but that beginning of that attraction thing happened just from the little interaction we did, not because of the way she looked.
So let me ask you one more question. Like, I want to get into details of it. So when I'm attracted to a person, or, you know, heterosexual gay people attracted people, from the best of my knowledge, you have a best part. And on TV, in social media, it's very well advertised. Oh, look at Jennifer Lopez's butt. Oh, look at David Beckham's legs. You know, it's always legs, it's butt, it's chest, it's arms. With you, do you also have like a favorite part, or a favorite trait of character that turns you on the most? Like,
it's so funny you said Jennifer Lopez, because I happen to follow her on Instagram or something.
I thought you were going to say, that's the girl I met today.
I wouldn't be here if it was.
Okay.
Sorry. I'd be having a sleepover with J-Lo. My dreams.
Oh, really? You dream about her?
No. Here's my point, actually, to this point. So I happen to follow her on Instagram, and once you get to see the things she posts and her interests and what kind of person she is, she's extremely attractive. Yes, she's very pretty, and she has a great butt. She has great hair, or wigs. But when you watch the things that are important to her, when you see the kind of comments she makes, it's like, oh my God, there's a person there, and that person is extremely hot. So it's a funny thing you said that, because, you know, yeah, there's even with celebrities, there are, you know, people that just they're it's that law of attraction. There's an attraction thing about them, and it's not it's not just their looks, you know? So, I mean, I wouldn't look at Danny DeVito, but you don't know who that is, I know. Cultural references, man. Right, Alexi?
Alexa doesn't know American film. Alexa, do you know actors?
Do you know Danny
Yes.
DeVito?
Yes,
Of course.
We'll take over Gotham City.
Okay, well that's really, you know, it really upsets me that like some robot knows more than I do. But listen, so that's been fascinating. Let's go back for a second to
right.
what?
Hey, sir. Hey, it's time for to bed.
It's time for bed. Did I set the alarm, Alexis?
Yes, you did.
All right. Well, it's time. You know, if I'm not reminded I have to go to bed, I can stay up all night. That's the way I am.
Well, I'm not much of a talker.
You're not at all. But listen, just before we go to bed, which, FYI, I don't have no bed, so you can sleep on the couch, or I'll sleep on the couch or on the floor. It doesn't matter. Listen, you mentioned also being discriminated because of your age,
Yeah.
and would you agree with me that that's if bisexual people would not discriminate you for that?
No. I don't know. Take that back. I don't know.
Would you? Okay, let me ask you
Would
this.
I discriminate based
Would
on
you
that?
discriminate based like you're in a gay bar?
Yeah, I
and
would.
there is a. You
I would,
will.
yeah.
Why? How come?
It's the old Groucho Marx has a famous quote. I would not want to be a member of any club that would have me in it. So personally, I think I should be thinner. I think I should look better, and therefore I won't. This is a generalization, but if someone's attracted to me, like really, what kind of taste do you have? I want someone who's going to be attracted to me the way I want to look. You know, so that's kind of. I would probably look past the not the age thing, but the heavy thing.
Well, that's what I was gonna mention, because like the age, yeah, it's like, you know, people like older, younger people, whatever. But it's interesting what you're saying about the weight. Again, for you, it's not necessarily a physical characteristics. It's more of a you're not taking care of yourself.
It's a self-judgment.
You don't love yourself enough if you don't work out, you don't eat healthy. So
Right.
that's what it is for you?
Right, I think so.
Interesting. So that's
think
again
so.
on a different level. It's not just because, oh, I'm not attracted to that. It's yeah. Alexis, are you talking? I can't.
Pretty soon it's bedtime.
All right.
Bedtime's bedtime.
All right. All right. Anyways, let's go to bed because that bitch wouldn't leave me alone. She can talk all night. Like I'm not even
Sure.
kidding.
Well, I can
All right,
always talk to her.
All right. Well, listen. You can sleep with my poppy elephant. I don't know.
What's his personality like?
Well, you can figure that out. You can figure that out. Let's go to bed, okay?
Great.
It's good to have you here. I'm really
Thanks for
happy
having
that
me.
you came over. Always have the best time
I
with
love
you.
being had.
Okay. All right. Good night, Alexis.
Good night.
Yuri.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.